Pregame is an equal opportunity employer, and we encourage local community organizations to refer qualified applicants to us. You can receive the Game and Odyssey job vacancy information by contacting Human Resources at 415-765-4011 or by emailing sfhr@odyssey.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. With warmer spring temperatures, hang your clothes to dry outside instead of using the dryer. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning! Yeah,
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Oh, yes. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the Pregame Show. I am Joe Spadoni. We got an awful lot to get to, and not a long time to do it, so let's get started, folks. Horrible loss. Another horrible road loss for the Golden State Warriors as they fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder 137-128 in OKC. We're going to get to that right off the top. We got a lot to get to, though. We got Steve Ballmer talking about toilets. Need to get into that first and foremost. We got potential collusion happening around the NFL as it pertains to Lamar Jackson and the non-exclusive franchise tag being applied to him, so he is allowed to negotiate with other teams. And then as soon as that was announced, you got just it was almost instantaneously, yeah, the Falcons, Dolphins, Panthers, Commanders, and Raiders, they're actually out. You mean all the teams that actually could use a franchise quarterback, they're not going to talk to Lamar Jackson? Yeah, something's fishy there, and we'll definitely get into that. But something's fishy with the Golden State Warriors as it pertains to road play. So let's get into that. 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. Xfinity Mobile text line. Hit me up there. Call or text. Hit me up on Twitter at Spadoni_Joe. And you can hit me up on Twitch and YouTube. Hello, YouTube chat. Love all of you. Appreciate all of you. And my God, is it too much to ask of these Golden State Warriors to just play well in the first quarter? Is that asking too much of a team, of a defending championship team? Again, every time I watch them, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know, I proclaimed, and I'm not going back on my proclamation sensation last week, that I picked the Golden State Warriors to win the West. I still believe that, even on that 5-0 homestand. And we've seen what they have been on the road now. This is who they are. They're 7-25 on the road, folks. Not a good road team. They're just not. And that was one you needed last night. Because you know who's coming up? You know who's coming up for the Golden State Warriors? You got the Grizzlies, who just took an L in Los Angeles against the Lakers last night. No Ja, obviously, but that won't be easy. And then you got the Bucks Saturday. Giannis coming into town to Chase Center. That's going to be fun. Oh, and then Monday, hello, KD, first time at Chase Center. Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. How you doing? And that doesn't get easy after that either. Then you got the Clippers, then you got the Hawks, then you got the Grizzlies again. So that was a game last night in Oklahoma City you needed. You needed it. As this conference gets tighter and tighter, and as the Warriors are now the 6th seed, and only a half game up on the Minnesota Timberwolves, I get they have the tiebreak, but only a half game separates them from the Timberwolves, the Clippers, and then you got the Lake Show breathing down your neck, only 2 games back, and they've been winning. So that was a game last night that you wasted. You gave it away. You wasted a Stephen Curry performance in which he dropped 40, and you lost. 40 points for Stephen Curry, 10 of 16 from beyond the arc, and you lose. You know why you lost? Because you allowed the freaking Oklahoma City Thunder, team tanks a lot, to just kill you from beyond the arc. 17-37. Did every single player on the Thunder make a 3 last night? Because it sure seemed that way. They did. 9 players. 9 of them. That can't happen. And we're at the point of the season where you need to start playing some defense. And maybe I'm asking too much. Shame on me if I thought the proverbial switch was going to be flipped in Oklahoma City. You know, we saw all the videos, Steph reenacting the double bang call from Mike Breen, damn near at half court, reminiscent of that huge shot he had against Russell Westbrook, KD, in that awesome season that didn't end so awesome for them, but neither here nor there. But we were all feeling good. Yeah, he had a little blip. It wasn't his first game back. You know, people were talking at the station, oh, that was a scheduled loss. You know what? I thought they were going to lose that game. You know, Stephen Curry coming back and him revive. Oh, Andre. No, they should have beaten the Lakers, first of all. No LeBron James, no D'Angelo Russell. You lose that game. Concerning. And now you lose this one in Oklahoma City Thunder? Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. And with the Grizzlies, Bucks, Suns, Clippers, like, this is it, folks. This is it. Steph, Dre, Clay, this is it. This is the final stretch of the season. And if you're going to continue to play like this, heading into the potential play-in or play-offs, yes, the panic meter, shout out Bonte Hill, who will be on the morning host of Joe Shasky in about an hour, and he's not happy. I was watching that postgame last night. He's at an uh-oh. I'm at a, what the hell are we doing? Whatever that is on the panic meter, I'm breaking it. Yikes. Steve Kerr, what went wrong last night?
The defense, we never were able to gain any traction defensively. They were coming downhill at us all night. Couldn't stop them. Third quarter really hurt us. I think they shot 12 free throws. You know, that changed the game considerably. But yeah, you give up 137 and 17 threes and 53% shooting, you're not going to win.
No, you're not. When Josh Giddey looks like Magic Johnson against you, that's not good. And I know Josh Giddey's a really good young player. Elite hair, probably the best in the game. A la a Timothy Chalamet, some might say. But come on. Just look at that stat line for Josh Giddey last night alone. 17 points, 17 assists, 11 boards. You kidding me? TJ from Bayfair. Thank you, Sam Lubman, for screening that call for me. Producer extraordinaire for Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys in the Morning Roast. TJ, what's up, man? You're on the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Man, how you doing? Listen, I love Kerr. Kerr's a great coach, excellent coach, but he needs to stop with the Andre Iguodala experiment. Because when Andre was in that game, listen, I understand he's a vet. We get it. We love Andre. But he's washed. He's washed. We have to give it up. We can't allow him to be out there because he's not providing enough on offense, and he's not doing much on defense neither to really have him out there. So, like, I just seen in that third quarter when Andre was out there and we were just giving up free throw after free throw after free throw. No, cut the experiment. It's short-lived.
Thanks, TJ. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate that. Andre Iguodala, yeah. A lot of bad plays last night followed by, oh, wow, there's Andre Iguodala. Oh, there he is, too. Like it was a Dr. Jekyll again. I'm going to keep using this analogy, but it is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde season for the Warriors, and it was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde performance for a lot of the players last night. Andre Iguodala, to TJ and his point, you know what you got with him at this point, and it's a guy who's not great on offense, and you're hoping he could be okay on defense, right? You got him in a Udonis Haslem role, but Udonis Haslem doesn't play for the Miami Heat for a reason. We got Iguodala out here, to TJ's point, playing 12 minutes in important moments in games. He was at minus 14. It was the worst of any player in the game. Tied with Wiggins on the other team. Not that Wiggins, not that A Wiggins. Yeah, the Iguodala experiment, I'm good off that too. But Steve Kerr doesn't trust a lot of these other players. That's the problem. He put himself in a situation where he alienated James Wiseman to the point and didn't build his confidence up early in the season. I'm not going to get on James Wiseman. By the way, he had a pretty good game last night. Yeah, the Pistons lost. You're going to throw that in my face, but Pistons are supposed to lose. Moses Moody, you thought he was going to be a guy who could give you some defense and some three-pointers. He's down in the G League. Who else? Jordan Poole? Well, we've seen his confidence wane when he's not in the starting lineup. And he wasn't last night. Off the bench, 32 minutes, 4 of 12, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc. He had some wide open looks there towards the end, desperately needed them. And it wasn't just Poole, it was Klay Thompson as well. A lot of guys other than Steph, and even Steph had some bad turnovers. 6 of them. It wasn't a good performance. It just wasn't. And I know I mentioned the Steph 40-point performance, and you got to capitalize off that. Well, Steph's got to be better too. He's got to be better. 35 minutes, followed by 32 minutes against the Lakers. I'm pretty sure that knee's okay. At least it seemed like it wasn't bothering him last night. Klay getting 40 minutes. 5 of 13 from beyond the arc. 9 of 17. Okay. And my God, there were some isolated possessions when it was him on Giddey. Giddey just blew right by him. I mean, it's Klay Thompson. I get it. Coming off 2 major injuries, and he's been good. He's been solid, I should say, on the defensive end. But late in games, when you're getting matched up one-on-one against some of these young stars in the league, and I'm not saying Josh Giddey's a star yet, a blossoming, good player, great potential, but he's going to be matched up against some of these guys in the playoffs. And possessions like that can't happen. Defense, like I saw yesterday in Oklahoma City, cannot happen. Falling behind double digits against a team that has historically tanked to the highest level the past few years, and I know they're not tanking this year, but to lose to a team full of potential when you're the defending champs this late in the season, it's not good. And I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all-star, he's a hell of a player. Lou Dort, the torture chamber, great defender. And again, a lot of promise on that OKC Thunder team. But when you have Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson out on the floor, and you're the defending champions, and it's this late in the season, and you were 7-24 on the road heading into this game, I would have liked to see a little urgency, especially coming off that Los Angeles Lakers loss. And it doesn't feel like we're ever going to get it. It doesn't feel like we're getting that same urgency. Did you see the play last night with Draymond Green calling for the ball, not getting it, and then throwing a temper tantrum and then just walking away and not even getting back after a turnover on offense and coming back? And it led to a Thunder point and to a score. Did any of you see that? It's kind of indicative of where the Warriors are at this season. A lot of pouting I'm seeing. And I'm not seeing it just from the young players and from Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga. I'm seeing it from Draymond Green last night. Hey, Draymond, do you want to stick around here? Do you want to make a run with this team? Like, what are we doing? Here's Klay Thompson talking about the leadership and athleticism of Andre Iguodala last night. This should be good.
Well, for being 39 years old and looking as spry and athletic as he is, that's just an accomplishment in itself. And I think his leadership's the part that really stands out the most to me, is just telling guys where to be and what role to play and how to be successful in a role-playing role. Andre is such a smart player and has coach's IQ.
That's great. He could be as smart as he wants. Get his ass on the bench if he's going to play and have those turnovers like he did last night. Again, he is in a Udonis Haslem role with the team, and Udonis Haslem doesn't play. Okay? He can lead from the bench. He can talk to these guys from the bench. If I'm getting the performance that I'm getting last night from the 39-year-old, and it's thank you for reminding me, Clay, of how old this guy is and looked at times last night. Like, what are we doing? Why does this keep happening on the road for a defending championship team? The urgency's not there. 888-957-9570, Xfinity Mobile text line. 510. We are so mid for any road trip. I love Poole, but we need better defense, especially in the secondary. Poole needs to score. I'm not going to be here crushing Jordan Poole because I think he's been crushed way too much and undeservingly so this season. Yeah, he missed a lot of bad open threes last night. Just missed them. Wasn't good. And if he's not giving you anything on offense, yes, he's a losing player at that point. But Jonathan Kuminga, I liked what I saw. He had some turnovers, yeah, he's going to. But I thought he played great defense. I thought he was active. I thought he was trying to penetrate. I thought he was trying to get to the paint, and he was. DiVincenzo, not going to be mad at him. Not a great shooting night, but you know what? He brings it every single game on defense. It's up to the other guys. I know Draymond Green's going to bring it on defense, but I can't have him quitting on plays in transition. You can't have that. You just can't. Here's Stephen Curry on their inability to win on the road.
I think just the way we've played on the road, first and foremost, but the fact of how hard it is to win an NBA game on the road. I don't care what you've accomplished in the past or what talent you have or whatever. There's certain momentum swings that make it really even more difficult. You know, we haven't proven that we can overcome those by just raw talent. We have to continue to stay accountable to those moments where you give the other team life, whether that's a turnover or a missed box out, not running back in transition, you know, those type of plays that you watch the film and it's like, yeah, we can do something better. Those are things that you can control. You can't control whether they make or miss shots or how hot they might get. It's just those type of plays where you just give them life, and on the road it's tough.
You give life to any team, especially a team that's young and athletic like the Oklahoma City Thunder. And that every single time the Warriors looked like, oh, they were going to take control of this. All right, they got a little bit of a lead, a couple points here. All right, time to build off this. Nope. Something on the road, and Steve Kerr's talked about it all season. He can keep talking about, yeah, it's just, you know, teams just shoot better at home. That can't be just it. That can't be it. Defense, half of it is just wanting to compete. I don't see that for outside of Dante DiVincenzo, Draymond Green, Clay at times, Looney, he's trying his best. Outside of that, Kuminga. Okay, that's what, 5 players? Yeah, the other 5 players that are in games, 4 to 5 players, they're not giving you much. God bless Steph Curry. He gave you 40 last night. You can't expect him to be great on defense. Jordan Poole got paid to score. He's not a defender. JaMychal Green, this stage in his career, Andre Iguodala at 39. Patrick Baldwin Jr., God bless him. Come on. Hey, Steph, how you feeling physically and emotionally?
Physically feel great, emotionally all over the place.
I think that's the pulse of the Warriors fan base, if we're being honest right now. Physically, yeah, you know what? Getting by. Emotionally, oh my God. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Is the road bleeding ever going to stop, folks? Is it ever going to stop? 510. Xfinity Mobile text line. Poole was playing one-on-one and is the reason why Dre had his temper tantrum. I don't need the temper tantrums during a play, though. 510. That can't happen. That cannot happen. You're not only showing up Jordan Poole, showing up the rest of your team and that coaching staff. What the hell are you doing? Go out there and play. I know you're frustrated. I know you're one of the only ones that have been giving it on defense every single game, Draymond. But get the hell back on defense, man. You can't sit there and sulk because it wasn't the right play and because Jordan Poole was going one-on-one and he was trying to find his shot. He gets paid to score. You get paid to defend at an elite level and to play make. And it wasn't the right play. And the ball got turned over. That's what happens. Here's more from Stephen Curry after last night's game on the team's focus.
the fact that we are not in a safe enough spot to do that. Just got to look at the stands and keep it real. We have, some tough opponents coming up. So just a matter of what we did on the road while me and Wiggs and, GP were out. They won 5 games in a row because you can rally around being shorthanded and guys played amazing. When we come back on the road, those same principles apply because it's way harder to do it away from Chase. And we obviously haven't shown that we can do that. And like I said, we're not in a safe spot in terms of the standings or where we're at or just the vibe around how we're playing. So we got to keep repeating that even until you're blue in the face until we actually do it.
510 Xfinity Mobile. Check that. Yeah, 510 Xfinity Mobile text line. This is Draymond Green. Are you new to the Bay? That's Draymond. Stop complaining. No, 510. Yeah, I know that Draymond Green complains to the referees constantly. And he flirts with the tech every single game. I am not here to defend Draymond Green and his inability to get back on defense, him throwing temper tantrums mid-play. That can't happen. That is not Draymond Green. Draymond Green plays hard every single possession. That's the Draymond I know. He doesn't quit and throw a temper tantrum in the middle of the floor. That's some La Liga crap. Serie A. Ligue 1. I can name all the European leagues. Throwing temper tantrums in the middle of matches as the Champions League is back and Chelsea got the win over Borussia Dortmund. That's what happens when you get Christian Pulisic back on the bench. Just his presence alone from the American is good enough. Shout out Gio Reyna. They should have started him for Dortmund. The American dream. But my God. We know who Draymond is. I'm not giving him a pass for what I saw last night. It's inexcusable. Inexcusable. 510. Steph did sound so damn deflated after that game. He sounded deflated all year. I don't blame him. It's been an S show. It's been a bleep show from day one, especially on the road. It's been a bleep show. 7-25. Did I see the stat last night that if they are trailing heading into the fourth quarter, they have not won a single game? When they have no lead heading into the fourth, they are, 0-19 I saw? I saw that on the Comcast, check that, NBC Sports Bay Area broadcast with Bonta Hill, doing a hell of a job. Morning roast up in about 40 minutes with him and Joe Shasky. Their inability to come back this year when it seemed like that's all they were doing last season, it's startling. And maybe that's the problem. It's a whole new season and a whole new team, it feels like, from last year. And we keep comparing it to last year because they're the defending champs, and rightfully so. But it's not the same team. It's not. 415, Xfinity Mobile text line. Home advantage might help opponents play better, but why does being on the road make us play like boneheads? It's a good question. 618. Warriors can't even beat OKC on the road. They're brutal away from Chase. When is the road bleeding going to stop, folks? If ever. From the YouTube chat. Appreciate all of you chiming in there. Jonathan Lundeen. So they can't beat the Lakers or OKC. Now they have to play Memphis, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and the Clippers. Yep. That was a game that you wanted last night. That was a game that you wanted and felt like you needed. Steve Kerr, what made OKC so tough last night?
Tonight it was the combination of Giddey and Shea, coming downhill at us. They were really, they're both big and strong, can handle the ball, can get to the rim. Giddey had 17 assists and Shea made 14 buckets, so they controlled the whole game with their physicality and their skill, and they were great tonight.
They were. Shea, he's a star, man. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is an absolute star in this league. 14 and 24. 2 of 5 from beyond the arc, 33 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. He was tremendous. He was making some ridiculous shots. And when he got that shooter roll late, that bank shot, I was like, okay. He was making some ridiculous shots. Giddey driving to the paint, making some ridiculous shots. He was getting all those assists numbers up. He was a great playmaker last night. And it was the youth movement against, let's face it, an older Warriors team. And their age showed last night. Absolutely. There's no other way around it. Their age showed. You got 39-year-old Andre Iguodala out there trying his best, making plays at times, but then at times just looking so lost. Klay Thompson, one-on-one on Josh Giddey, didn't end well. Jonathan Kuminga, okay. Liked what I saw there. Draymond, you know what they're going to bring. DiVincenzo, know what they're about. Everyone else, Jordan Poole, Steph, not asking to be world beaters, but also not asking to be turnstiles either. Here's Klay Thompson after the game on the privilege of playing in the NBA and needing to be better.
I know how fragile this business is and how it can be taken away from you in an instant. So it's important just to realize that it's a privilege to be out there and it's our dreams, our childhood dreams. And I can do a better job being more vocal and keeping the team connected, especially early. I did not feel like I did a good job of that tonight. So on Thursday in Memphis, I will do that.
Need a bounce back performance in a big way, especially against Memphis. And Memphis, they're coming off a loss and it's in Tennessee. It's going to be a tough one. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a hostile environment. They don't like you. You don't like them. Dylan Brooks, please do not wear a Stone Cold Steve Austin outfit. I do not want to see that. Again, no Ja. Looks like he's away from the team indefinitely at the moment. But both teams coming off a loss. Both teams needing wins. We're leaking oil. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Continue to take your calls and texts on the Warriors being 7-25 on the road. Just unbelievable to say out loud this year. Just one of the worst road teams in the NBA, and they're the defending champs. Unbelievable. YouTube, hit me up there at Spadoni_Joe on Twitter. On the other side, I do want to touch the biggest story in sports right now, and that's what's going on with Lamar Jackson and getting tagged with the non-exclusive franchise tag by the Baltimore Ravens, meaning teams have the ability to negotiate with him, and the Ravens have that chance to match, but they also will need at least 2 first-round picks in exchange for Lamar Jackson, and there is potentially collusion going on, folks, in regards to this. I'll explain on the other side. 888-957-9570. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, come on back. 95.7 The Game.
Want to win 2 tickets to the Warriors versus Spurs game on March 31st? Yes. All you have to do is download the Odyssey app or listen at 957thegame.com. Oh, yeah. The longer you listen, the more chances you have to win. You'll get 1 entry for every hour you listen. And every hour you listen is another chance to win. Up to 8 entries per day. So download the Odyssey app now. Tickets courtesy of the Warriors. And as always, go to Warriors.com for your tickets now.
Hi, I'm Aaron, owner of California Deluxe Windows. Ever notice when your neighbors get new windows, there is a...
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Warriors 128, Thunder 137. And, I brought this song in, What Is Love? Because it was Valentine's Day. I was like, you know what? We got to have some love songs, right? Rejoins. So it was like, it's just a banger, too. I was like, this is just going to be part of the weekly repertoire here on the pregame show. The song's an absolute banger. And it always makes me think of Night at the Roxbury, right? It has to. Every single time. Elite skit, an elite movie. Will Ferrell, Chris Kattan, get after it. You know who's not getting after it is the Golden State Warriors on the road, 7-25. And we continue to take your calls and texts at 888-957-9570. Xfinity mobile text line, YouTube, up and running. Hit me up there. Appreciate all of you. Hit me up on Twitter, at Spadoni_Joe. Give me a follow. While it's still up and running, because, my God, it crashes every other day, it seems like. Okay. We'll get back to the Warriors, promise. A lot of anger, a lot of emotion, a lot of what the hell are we doing? Understandably so. A lot of frustration regarding this team as the final stretch is coming down and the Warriors don't seem to care about that on the road. We'll get back into that, but I wanted to touch what's going on in the NFL right now. And as you know, NFL free agency is about to be upon us starting next Monday. That's when you can do all the legal tampering. Everyone's going to start talking to everyone. And then come Wednesday at, I believe, noon is when free agency officially begins for the NFL. And yesterday was the deadline for, check that, is it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday, it was. Yesterday was the deadline for the franchise tags. So you saw a lot of guys getting franchise tagged, a lot of running backs specifically when you thought it was going to be a strong running back market. Well, turns out it might not be. You saw Jacobs get tagged. You saw Pollard from the Cowboys. You saw Saquon get tagged from the Giants. And then you saw Lamar Jackson get tagged. And this is the biggest storyline going on in sports right now. The non-exclusive franchise tag. And for those who don't know, if you just get tagged with the regular franchise tag, that's it. No one can negotiate with you. You are playing for that team, at least for that next season. Or you're under contract. So you can negotiate. You can still, if you need to get a trade, you can do that. But while you're under the regular exclusive franchise tag, yeah, you belong to that team that you're currently signed to. The non-exclusive tag, while you still belong to that team, allows you to negotiate with other teams for a potential contract elsewhere. And that is what the Ravens slapped on Lamar Jackson, former MVP, hell of a player, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, hurt a lot, scary, understandably so. But if you're any of these quarterback needy teams, you would be jumping all over that, right? Well, when it was announced that the non-exclusive tag was applied to Lamar Jackson, you saw a bunch of tweets. And it was interesting. Almost immediately, you saw sources say, Falcons not interested. That was via Diana Russini of ESPN. Thought he was linked to them. Okay. Dolphins, not interested. Panthers, not interested. Commanders, Raiders. Wait. And you start going through these teams. Falcons want Desmond Ridder? The Dolphins want Tua? The Panthers want... The Commanders want... The Raiders want Jarrett Stidham? Or what? So it didn't make sense until you started thinking about it. Lamar wants to be up in that Deshaun Watson level of guaranteed money. And what Jimmy Haslam did, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, when he signed Lamar Jackson to that massive guaranteed contract, he put the league in a hole, in a bind, if you will. The league wasn't happy about that. Giving him all of that cash straight up, it sets a bad precedent if you're the owners. Because quarterbacks are going to, like Lamar Jackson's doing right now, is going to look at that like, I don't have the off-the-field baggage that he does. I've won a freaking MVP. I've taken my team to the playoffs multiple times. I should be getting paid more than that guy guaranteed money. And Lamar, who represents himself, is absolutely right. But what the owners don't want to do, and some of these owners, and don't get it twisted, although a lot of these owners are billionaires, they don't have that kind of just straight cash homie, if you will, to give immediately. Like the 200 plus guaranteed money, 300 plus that he might be looking for. A lot of owners just don't have that to give right away. So what they do some of these signing bonuses. They do give these guaranteed contracts, but they sparse it out over a long period of time, not straight up. And that's what Lamar Jackson's looking for. And what the league is telling Lamar is, you know what? We're not going to do that because we're not going to want all these other owners to pay that. And we don't want to set the precedent that all these quarterbacks are going to need guaranteed money and that much guaranteed hundreds of $1 millions right up front. We don't want to do that. That's not our bag. We want to make money. We want to keep our money. And if we're going to give that all away immediately to you guys, it's not good business. We're in the business of having these contracts that are all fluff and no substance. That's how we stay rich. And you see a lot of these contracts. You saw it with Derek Carr. You saw it with Daniel Jones. You see all these extra years added on there when they're meaningless. When in reality, it's 2 or 3 years worth $80 or $70 million and not the 4-year, $150 million they may make it seem. So Lamar Jackson, yeah, he's getting the memo from the league who is sending the message to him and to the Ravens like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Now it's interesting because you saw a quick tweet from Diana Russini of ESPN almost a couple hours later after all these teams were quote unquote out on Lamar Jackson. There was team source. This Diana Russini once again. The Las Vegas Raiders haven't eliminated any quarterback options, including Lamar Jackson. Now, is that just Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones and all the elites of the elite up there in the owner's box saying, all right, Mark, you got to go tell your team that you're not out on him. We need to save face here. All right, we're not out. You just need to do this for us, please. Just say you're not out on him, and that you'll do your due diligence so it doesn't look like collusion. Now, that's what the cynic would say. And listen, I'm not saying the Raiders are legitimately interested in Lamar Jackson, but why wouldn't they be? Be stupid not to be. Are you kidding me? You're going to roll Jarrett freaking Stidham over him or Jimmy Garoppolo? Please. Give me Lamar in a second if I'm a fan of the Raiders. But it's interesting. If there were 2 teams in this league that I believe would have the stones, and maybe I should say the 2 owners in the league more specifically, that would want to stick it to the NFL, one of them would be the owner of said team, the Las Vegas Raiders, and Mark Davis. He's still not happy about what went down with the John Gruden situation. He believes he should have been able to be the one to dictate whether or not he should have just been suspended indefinitely. He thinks he should still be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, whether you agree with that or not. I personally don't. John Gruden showed who he was, and he should not be a coach in the NFL anymore. But be that as it may, Mark Davis still not happy about that whole situation. Another guy who the league is trying to force out and just can't seem to do it is Dan Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commanders. I could absolutely see in him, you know what, Lamar, here's a bunch of money. Come play for us. You're close. Baltimore, Maryland, right near, we play in Maryland, right? Not quite sure the geography over in Maryland, but pretty sure the Washington Commanders play somewhere near there. They're DC, but it's all close to each other. Yada, yada, yada. Long story short, don't be surprised if a couple of owners are trying to stick it to the league, a la Dan Snyder and Mark Davis, and actually try to pursue Lamar Jackson. Not saying they're going to do it, but I wouldn't be shocked. And I cannot wait to see what unfolds here in the coming months, in the coming weeks here, as again, NFL free agency officially starts next Wednesday, and legal tampering starts Monday, and you'll start seeing all the different deals and what have you getting trickled down. So fascinating development happening with Lamar Jackson. Needed to get into that because, again, that is the biggest story surrounding the NFL. And if it's the biggest story in the NFL, that means it's the biggest story in the sporting world. And it's wild. It's wild. On the other side, we'll get back into the Warriors and their loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, they faltered 7-25 on the road. I want to get Joe Shasky's thoughts on that. He will join me for the crossover next segment. 888-957-9570. 888-957-9570. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. One more segment. Come on back. 95.7 The Game.
It's a Warriors Wednesday on 95.7 The Game. We're reacting to Warriors Thunder with head coach Steve Kerr at 4.
Steph, he transcends the game. No matter where we go, there are people who are cheering for him and can't wait to
Pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Explosive. That's what the Oklahoma City offense was last night in Oklahoma City as they take out the Golden State Warriors 137-128. Warriors fall to 7-25 on the road as Joe Shasky of the Morning Roast joins me now for the Cross-Jover every Monday through Friday here at 5:45.
Can I ask a question?
On the Pregame show. What's up?
If I made you choose between one, Exhibit or Nate Dogg on this song?
I gotta go Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg might be the...
When I met you last night, baby.
Before.
Oh, my God.
Good. Dude, he might be the greatest featured artist in the history of music.
Music! Nobody has been on more slappers as a feature in the history of music.
It's amazing. And like
move over Elton John.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I've been in my younger days, and it would have been when you were probably in your 20s, like it was T-Pain when I was in middle school.
Of course.
If T-Pain was on a track, it was a banger.
100%.
If Pitbull was on a track, it was probably a banger.
100%.
And then Nate Dogg, just that whole run he had, just him and Warren G, baby. Oh, come on. Come on.
It's
Regulators
incredible.
mount up.
They recorded it in a closet. It's just incredible. One of my favorite albums, and I don't know the name of it, but it's a Nate Dogg. It's a tribute album where it chops up all his greatest features. And they have each artist that he's worked with kind of talks in between the two tracks. It's just incredible. And you get little insights on how they recorded the songs. And God, I miss Nate Dogg.
No, absolutely. He was great. And you know what wasn't great last night, Shasky?
Which part?
Just everything about the Warriors right now. They looked old. They looked like they didn't care on defense. You got Draymond pouting mid-play because there was a turnover or Jordan Poole playing hero ball.
Don't even say Look, there are people. Let me ask you about Draymond.
It's just.
Let me ask you. I'm sorry. I'm taking the wheels here.
No, please.
Let me ask you about Draymond. Why? Can I ask? There are a certain segment of fans. No matter what Draymond does,
that's who he is. They texted him this morning, and that really triggered me because you know who Draymond really is. He's a guy who plays hard.
He's a bully.
He is a bully.
He's a bully.
No, he is.
You can both be true.
And he's made a career off that.
Yes.
But also, you can't be throwing temper tantrums mid-court during a play. That is not who I've seen Draymond be. This season, though, that is exactly who he's been. He hasn't been this guy prior to this, but this season, and then the lost season I'm thinking of a couple times, when he feels like the team isn't going to get it done. You said this in the text thread earlier. It was actually kind of funny. I hope it's okay if I
saw it in the first minute.
It's like, Draymond wants to get ejected from this game.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Does he want to play in this game?
No.
It didn't seem like that.
He argued over and over and over with the officials. Look, he's a very complicated person. All these things can be true simultaneously. He's great. The Warriors don't win any championships with him. He can be a front runner at times. He bullies teammates. Right? All of those things can be true. Very complicated. Lawrence Taylor, one of the greatest players of all time. Also a horrible human being. Both can be true, right, Joey? So, and I'm not putting him in the Lawrence Taylor category. I'm just saying, people are complicated. No one is as simple as we think they are. So I'm watching Draymond Green, and here's the funny thing. I'm seeing some of the replies on the video. They're like, if Jordan Poole would have just back cut, he would have had a layup. Dog, there was help defense right there in the key. There was a big-time center there. Maybe he would have, maybe good. There was also a guy pressuring Jordan Poole in his face. Now, Jordan Poole didn't have a good game at all, but we're going to do it today. I know it's coming down. We are going to crush Jordan Poole. I know it. How about I ask this question? And I'm dead serious on this. We all recognize how great Steph Curry is. He had 6 turnovers yesterday.
Bad. Him and Iguodala with the turnovers were bad.
Iguodala, get out of here. I mean, Kuminga played awesome last night. He had a couple of turnover mistakes. And Steve Kerr, I swear to God, stop running the split action with Kuminga as the passer. He did it early in the game, and it's like that. He had a turnover. That's not what he excels at. We can work on that down the line. Right now, I'm trying to win basketball games because that's what you told me. That's why you have no room for James Wiseman. Why are you not getting Kuminga going downhill? They did it 3 times, automatic dunk.
Yeah. No, when they were driving to the paint, more often than not, they were winning. And it's not like they have this was a small game matchup.
Yes.
And you know what? Credit to the Thunder, Gilgeous-Alexander, they were driving and penetrating throughout. And by the way, Josh Giddey just one-on-one against Clay
killed us.
Killed Clay.
Well, their defense, if we're being honest, just Warrior fans, you can point the finger at this guy and that guy and JMG and this. Clay, Steph, and Dre aren't playing the kind of defense that is elite worthy.
The fact of the matter is...
The 3 top dogs, let's just call it what it is, and they need Wiggins.
The fact of the matter is, they looked old, and they played against one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest in the league.
It's expected.
That's just what it expected. And on the road, that showed up late, and the Thunder were trying to give that game away.
100%.
They're a young team.
Josh Giddey threw that ball away.
He threw that ball away. It's like, what are you guys doing?
He jumped up and threw a soccer inbound pass across the court into the 4th row.
Yeah. It was horrible.
It really was.
It was horrible.
And Dante DiVincenzo, to his credit, is playing his ass
He
off.
is.
And he's trying super hard.
trying.
Okay, so I missed the post-game show with Bonte. I was so angry, I turned it off, and I went to WBC.
Bonte a little angry. A little
Was he?
radio Bonte sneaking
So I
into the
missed this.
tone a little bit.
Now, I put it in my notes because I didn't want to put this out there. Clay, it felt like, didn't touch the ball for 5 minutes.
It did feel like that.
And then all of a sudden he gets a shot. I'm like, oh my God, Clay's alive again.
Yes.
What the heck? Can Clay get a touch here?
And Jordan Poole, he got a lot of touches and a lot of open shots, just couldn't hit them.
Jordan couldn't hit yesterday.
He couldn't,
And
but
look,
that was it. Those were the shots that were open,
Yeah.
and then he just couldn't hit them.
He's had a bad year shooting, and there's a lot that goes into it.
And to your point, I'm not here to crush Jordan
No,
Poole.
but he's going to get crushed today.
And that's not fair because you know what? He's been put in a very, very difficult task this season. Just think about the season that he's had. Got punched in the face to start it off. He's been asked to be a starter at times, and then and you're not a starter now. Well, no, actually, no, you're back to being starting role. And people act like, well, he's just a scorer. He should know when to score. That is a very difficult a line to toe, if you will. Being a starter and being a sixth man, you are asked and expected to do very different things. And there is a confidence level to that.
Think about your own job. If you go from, and Joe, this is you. You go from being one of the hosts to now you're the producer or you're a technical engineer.
Yes.
It's hard to not look at those who are doing the hosting as you're, working alongside with a little bit of envy. That's natural. There is natural envy, and people have hubris and pride, and they want to have everything. That's fair. This thing that Jordan's got to know his place on the team. Yeah. Part of what makes him is the empowerment of playing free, and I feel like right now he's not playing free. And I'm telling you, I looked at that Draymond play and I said, that's the kind of play that reverberates throughout a season. And if you think that's the only time Draymond Green's showing his displeasure when he doesn't get the ball, if Jordan Poole did what Draymond Green did,
be getting crushed. Absolutely.
And now Draymond
he's earned it.
He has earned a lot. So there's some leeway here. Here's my thing. Draymond, in that game, given this point in the season, where we are, seeing how many limited bodies are out there, that's unbecoming of a leader who wants to get paid in the offseason.
So that's a game you needed. We can start saying these aren't must-win games. You're flirting with the play-in game here, folks. And by the way, last time you played in the play-in game, what happened? You lost both of them.
I know. And that's why I push back on this. They've never lost and I know it's with Clay. So that there's the caveat. Yes. But I'm like, dude, they did lose.
Yes.
We can say the core, and they didn't have Clay. Clay's very important. The other thing that I was thinking about, and this is just a Curry thought, and you can tell me if I'm crazy. Curry's awesome. He's amazing. There's no one is sitting here saying that Curry sucks. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, doesn't he need to evolve just a little to facilitate and help for others? Because there was a period in that game where it felt like he was going solo act, and I wanted him to play more, just a little more within the fabric of the game, and pass the ball to Clay a little.
I could see that. I think he felt like, listen, Poole and Clay weren't hitting their shots. I am, and I'm hitting, so I'm just going to do this.
But when you come down and jack up a quick three at the beginning of the shot clock, and then it's a big clank, now we got to go back, and then you're not guarding anybody, and you fall on the ground as Josh Giddey comes crashing into you. I know you think that's an offensive charge, but guys aren't going to play hard on defense if they don't touch the ball. That is a basic element. You got to pass it around to let everyone feel it.
And that's the rat on the table. Shout out Daryl LaGrue Johnson. The defense, man. It's
not good enough.
It's just hasn't been there all year, and it's not going to get better.
No.
It's just not going to get better.
It's roasting.
Everyone, it is, and I'm wearing this jacket right now. Shout out the morning roast in about
you know what
10
I'm
minutes.
more mad at? I'm not even mad at the Warriors, because I told you, they could lose all the road games.
Well, you're mad at the rain. We know that.
I'm pissed at the rain. I'm done with this rain. And I don't want to hear from the globalists. I don't want to hear from
Drive safe, by the way, out the those of you driving.
No, you should definitely drive. I saw a car sideways in between multiple lanes. I saw a tree snapped right there at the old Panera Bread on King Street.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. I
love Panera Bread. I don't know where that is, though.
It used to be there. It's no longer existing.
It's just tomato soup Red Bull.
Like the rest of San Francisco, it's an empty shopping, whatever, vacant retail spot. But dude, I am so rained out. I need to get out and play. My softball game got canceled yesterday. I think it's going to get canceled again tonight. My Little League games are being canceled. I need to get out of the house. I'm getting summeritis. I
need to golf is what I need to do. I haven't golfed in months, Shasky.
And you're going to get the people, we need it. No, we don't. No, I don't need 17 atmospheric rivers in my life in one winter.
It's a great word, though. Atmospheric river is pretty sweet.
You know what I want? Astronomical sun. That's what I want here in San Francisco. Give me astronomical sun for a week. Can we dry out a little? I'm so rained out. I'm sorry. It's pissing me.
No,
it's
making
me depressed. Like, Spadoni, I'm literally waking up depressed.
Damn. Well, I'm a big rain fan, but I can understand where a lot of you are coming from. If you're an outdoor guy, go up to the snow, Chassis. Tahoe.
Spadoni.
Come on, man.
I
you
love rain
snowboard
too.
or ski, by the way?
What?
You a big skier or snowboarder?
I skied one time, almost split my groin.
No, you got to go snowboarding instead of skiing.
Bro, the kids are going on like the double black diamond, and I'm on like the little beginner tiny bunny slope, and I'm like, this is not for
in
your
the
boy.
lodge. Give me something to drink.
Expensive.
It is very expensive.
Like very expensive.
It is.
Like ridiculously expensive.
It is.
You know,
you got to go find some like little bunny slopes and stuff like
Tell
that
me-
where you can just have fun. Go
You
to
watch
get the
Always
saucer.
Sunny?
I've seen some episodes.
Snow Mountain.
No.
Please watch it.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
I always think of the Aspen episode in South Park.
Oh,
that's one of the all-time episodes. Just
Speaking of South Park, did you watch the new Meghan Markle one where they crushed her?
No,
She's
I haven't actually seen any of the recent seasons of South Park.
Hilarious.
Okay.
I
love
watched
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I just haven't had time to.
I know.
And I cannot just turn it on and Young Benjamin's watching a little South Park. He's
yeah.
going to start. He's at the point where he's starting to mimic what I say. So I got to.
My brother's son, 2.5 years old, almost 3.
Yeah.
And now
Around
his
Benny's
is,
age, yeah.
no, I don't like that. Everything.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
It was, dude, I kid you not, yesterday, I pick up young Benjamin as we diatribe here about my 3-year-old. Pick him up from school. Yeah, Miss Katrina, who's the teacher, she's like, yeah, he didn't really want to eat lunch today, so he might be a little hungry. I was like, oh, what'd you guys have? He's like, oh, we had pasta. He just didn't want to eat. I was like, huh. I was like, we have pasta a lot. Like, that's like a staple of Spadoni asshole. I talked to him. I was like, buddy, why don't you want to eat your pasta today? It wasn't real. I was like,
oh my God. He gave her the Pauly walnuts.
It was like, he was like, the shells were too small. I was like, oh my God, I've raised an elitist. This kid's thinking he's going to get,
It's not
rigatoni.
hand spun.
It's not linguine or spaghetti for young Benjamin. He's out. I was like, I actually was proud a little bit too.
Can I ask you about growing up for you? Because you had a big family.
Yes.
So did someone
9
make
siblings?
Did somebody make lunches for all you guys? How did that work?
Yeah, my dad made the lunches most of the time. So he kind of was semi-retired when I was about hitting 5th or 6th grade. He would make a lot of the lunches. He cooked. So my dad was the chef in the family. He did all the big Italian meals, do all that sort of stuff.
So you had like a brown bag lunch or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
So I had a brown bag sandwich, a lot of PBJs and stuff growing up when it was easier.
Absolutely.
So yeah, a lot of brown bags, all of just the tangerine, stuff like that.
There was always the kids that came with like Lunchables. Like they had the full
those
Lunchable.
are the rich kids.
Yes. And then there was the set of people who their parents would buy them McDonald's and then come deliver it to them.
Oh, my mom did that early on. She would do some deliveries at Safeway, the hot bar. So she would get like the little what are those? The pizza pockets that they have there, the pepperoni.
I was so envious.
And we get the JoJo fries because that's my name. They get the JoJo fries, the potato wedges.
Yes.
Oh yeah, get those.
So envious.
So good.
So my mom used to make us meals, and my brother every day would stuff his food into the backpack all the way at the bottom, and she'd be pulling out smushed sandwiches, PBJ typically, and she would, "You never eat your food. You never eat your food." And I go, "Pat, that's staring you in the face over the next couple of years."
And he's gonna just be trading at school and stuff like that as you do. He's like, "I don't want this. Let's trade that." That's Joe Shasky. He's coming up next. More food talk with Ponte Hill. Once again, the Warriors, they fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder 137 to 128. They improve to, what is that? The Thunder 31-34, rather. They improve. 7-25 now on the road for the Golden State Warriors. Not good. Morning Roast coming up next. Joe Shasky, Ponte Hill, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game.